Hi everyone, now for something different to what I post here. Let's build a watch from AliExpress parts. Why did I make this video, you might ask? Well, my channel, my autism. As for the parts, I got shafted by the sellers on some stuff. This have great lumen. These yellow with lumen were supposed to be orange. So, I'll use these no lumen orange ones. But knowing AliExpress, I was prepared and ordered several alternatives just to build while waiting for replacements. The case is what people call a Seiko Tuna. I tried some in stores and like it, but it didn't quite scratch my itch, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. The bezel action is stiff, either it will loosen up with use or I'll investigate it later. I also got some watchmaking tools and read some posts about how to do this, so time to become a major horologer. Now, let's get ready and put
latex glove.
I got to say I haven't watched any tutorial or practice before, so get ready for it. Starting with the movement, I want to change the date wheel to a lumbed one and add this decoration. The movement is a Seiko NH36 day and date with crown at 3.8. The dial was the thing that inspired me to do this project. It's very beautiful with these waves. Officially the loom was supposed to be blue like the date wheel, but got bamboozled by seller. It has the pins for NH35 and NH36 at least, so check the ones that align with the holes in the movement holder and nip off the extra ones. Now to change the date wheel, I downloaded a PDF from Seiko or something that has exploding views and stuff like that, so I'll work from there. First, let's pop off the pressure disc with something that can be wedged there. With Rodico, take out the day disc without scratching or damaging it, as it's a very flimsy plastic part, and store it flat and safely. To release the date disc, we need to remove this plate held here by 4 screws. There's this second freestanding plate in the middle that it's not necessary to take out. The replacement disc is a fully blue loom one to continue with the C theme. Set it that the things all line up by themselves without forcing or moving around. Now we put back the top plate and screw everything together again. Let's check the functionality of everything. Date works, and let's see how the others rotate. I'll put the date disc and check too. Now let's put the dial on and check it works. Also, you might be wondering why I got the day-date version of the movement instead of the NH35. That's because I wanted to get into making dials myself, but that's a future project. The new date disc teeth seem a bit off compared to the factory one, but I'll live with it. Now to add the hour hands. This step is the one that makes a bit wary as they seem very fragile, so let's see how it goes. Ideally, I would put these as the finish, and loom are excellent, but I don't like the Rolex association and they don't quite fit the aesthetic I'm going for. Next choice is this, which I would use, but instead the orange I ordered, I got yellow ones, so off to the spare box I'm creating. These are the ones I'll use, which I find the coolest ones honestly, but the lack of lumen on a dive watch rubs me off the wrong way, but better this than no hour hands for weeks, I suppose. I got these hour hands press stick things which are unmarked, so I'll guess which one to use. To install the hour hands, I read to put it at 12 hours once the date changes so all is aligned. Starting with the hour hand, we gently put into position and press it in, keeping the hand as level as possible. Everything seems clear, so let's put it back to 12. No need to jump day for minutes. The minutes hands are a bit tricky to get into place, as I don't want to force it and break it. Important to check the clearance between all elements. If it's crooked, it can be pitched with the help of the pusher. All seems perfectly working except the date wheel that jumps and moves weird, and I need to check that as it's becoming quite triggering to me. The seconds hand is the trickiest one as it's very fragile, so test before committing. So, if I manage not to destroy it before assembly, here we have the fully finished movement assembly. Time to marry the case to the movement. Clean up any dust inside and let's place it in and close it enough that it holds. Let's check clearance and that all works. Once that is done, let's cut the stem to case size. Push it in all the way in and make sure it's there, checking that it engages, and put it all the way in again before measuring. Then with a caliper, measure between the case base on the crown and the crown pushed in. Grab the virgin stem and measure its full length, making sure it's square. Subtract the case and crown measure to the full one and cut away. If unsure, just cut less and check until it fits. It's very hard this part, and I ruined my nippers, so get some rough ones to cut this. Sand off the cut area so it's not uneven or sharp, not to damage the crown. Let's screw the crown to test fitting with the case, with the screw in the different positions. To put it in place, get some thread lock and apply very little to the tip. Read the instructions, but usually is very simple but needs some curing time. While the thread locker is curing, I'll apply the decoration of the rotor with this metal piece, which looks cool with this sea diamond. It comes with a stick, so the application is very simple and makes the view interesting. For the O-ring, I also got this lube thing just in case to get the O-ring lubed up, as I don't trust it too much, and this way it keeps it in good shape. Now for the bezel insert, which also has a tape installed luckily. Make sure the bezel is in position before gluing it in. Align it all and press it in. Very close to being finished, so let's put the strap. I got these light blue FKM, allegedly, rubber strap, which looks to be well made for the price. Or decent at least. With the quick release spring, it's a breeze to change straps compared to other watches I have in my collection. Set it on time. So far it took very little effort to put this together. One could say it's Lego for normal people. I think it ended cool, perhaps a bit too blue now that I see it all together. Wrist check time of the blue tuna. The strap is a bit weird shaped, so I'll replace it with another one and perhaps a darker color. The bezel is very hard to grip and turn. I'll now wear it for a week to fully field test the build in all aspects and see if this loosens up.
Later.
So, after a week of daily use with showers and putting it in seawater, I noticed that some water got inside as I feared. Also use it on a NATO strap and noticed the included spring bars of the case started to rust, which was an unpleasant surprise, but nothing serious at the end of the day, as they are very easy to replace. The main entry point for the water was the crown, which didn't have an O-ring inside the recess, which I didn't notice. I put one in, so it should solve the problem. As you can see, it rusted the stem and worked its way into the movement on the area around the stem. So, what I did was to take the movement apart on the back and clean up the rust, which was less than I feared, but I didn't want to let it marinate there, obviously. Cleaned the parts with baking soda and put it all together. It was very interesting to do, so I want to get more into these watchmaking stuff. Anyway, after all is cleaned off, let's put it back together. These steps are easy to film instead of getting a view of my hands and crown of my head that was filming the disassembling the movement. Also took this as an opportunity to fix the date wheel, playing with the no return springy thing on the middle top plate and the plastic gear engagement. During the week the new hours hands arrived, which are fully lumbed and look nice with such a round case. Also got these fancy Virgin dial protectors instead of using nothing, or some plastic bag bit like a peasant. And as before, set the time at day change 12H. Oh, admire the snappiness of the date change now. Whenever handling hour hands, use soft tools like these plastic tip tweezers. They are very finicky and already bonked a second's hand of the not used hands while playing around. I thought the arrow tip would meet the 12 o'clock triangle perfectly, but it overlaps a bit. No grand Seiko action here. The second's hand seems to protrude a wee bit, which might cause some troubles. Anyway, I put them in quite nicely as all clears up, but as you can see it also protrudes a bit. The dreaded second's hand, this went in smooth, but it scares me how frail it is. This one also peeks out, but maybe it can clear the case slope, hopefully. I see it's not going to clear with that minutes ring against the glass, so time to take out a new tool. I got a glass press or whatever this is called on AliExpress sale, so time to put it to use. Seems to work alright and nothing cracked or exploded catastrophically, so huge success. Now let's slide in the movement and see what can be done, or if all works out. Nope, this doesn't fit at all. So, time to use all my precision skills here and trim it off. There we go. Second's hand clear the slope perfectly, but the minutes one seems to drag against it, but I'm going to empirically test it, letting it run and see how it does. As you can see, it moves but seems to drag along not very smoothly, and seeing all the rework I did, I can't let this pass. Got the movement out and aligned the hands and popped them out with this extractor tool. Let me grab the troublemaker and think what can be done. I like these hands and I'm not wasting more money on new ones, neither waiting a week or more to get other types. Best I came up with is carefully sanding the tip until it clears. Let's get some Zaratsu polishing action here. Keep the pressure low and handle it gently so it doesn't bend or the loom gets damaged. Of course, sand from the lower unseen side. I honestly not know if this was the best course of action, but if it works, it works. Time to evaluate and see if clears now. Crisis solved, time to put this together. I always feel the second's hand is fitting weird, so better make sure it doesn't fall out. Let's see if all works well over time or it was all a dream. Everything seems fine, so time to pop the glass back with the press. pushing in to make sure it's in place. Screwing back the rotor without over-tightening. The main gasket seemed that it didn't fit very well, so I ordered some O-rings to replace it and hope it seals better. I will miss the little fella swimming around. Loom is okay. Also, while wearing it I lost one of the screws as I unscrewed them off a bit, so the crown spins better. I need to order some replacements, but they are awfully expensive for 6 stupid screws at €8. Now that the assembly thing is done, I want to adjust the precision as I got this timegrapher and saw that it runs horribly after disassembling the movement. For what I read, the ideal thing is to get a flat line on the screen, far from what we have here. First goal, as it sounds serious, is fixing the beat error down to 0, then the rate. The balance wheel has 2 levers that can be adjusted until it gets to 0. It's a balancing act of playing with the 2 until I get an acceptable result like this. Until next one.